The drama surrounding Arionne Curry, Martell Holt, Destiny Payton, and Marsau has officially reached another level. And this time, the accusations are messier, more personal, and way more explosive than anybody expected. Because according to Arionne, there were secrets happening behind closed doors that nobody fully understood. Until now. And if you thought the situation between her and Martell was already chaotic, just wait until you hear what she allegedly started exposing about Destiny. Because suddenly, fans are asking whether there was overlap, manipulation, hidden conversations, and emotional games being played the entire time. But what really shocked people was not just the accusations themselves, it was the fact that Arionne sounded completely fed up. Like somebody who had stayed quiet for too long and finally decided she didn't care anymore about protecting anyone's image. Now, people are wondering if this is revenge, heartbreak, or simply somebody finally telling the truth after years of emotional damage. And honestly, the deeper this situation gets, the uglier it starts to look. Because according to Arionne, Martell was allegedly moving very differently behind the scenes than what viewers were seeing publicly. And somehow, Destiny's name kept getting pulled into the middle of it all. But here's the twist nobody expected. While exposing Martell, Arionne also reportedly sent warnings about Marsau too. And when that happened, fans immediately realized this wasn't just random gossip anymore. This was starting to sound like somebody opening the vault on everybody. So now the internet is trying to figure out what's real, what's manipulation, and what may still be hidden. Because one thing about this entire group, the drama never stays buried for long. For years, people have watched the messy relationship between Arionne and Martell unfold publicly. And honestly, it has always been one of the most controversial situations connected to Love and Marriage Huntsville. From cheating allegations to emotional breakdowns to constant online shade, the situation never really cooled down. Every time fans thought the drama was over, another argument, another interview, or another leaked conversation would surface. At the center of everything was Martell's failed marriage to Melody Cherie. Their breakup already shocked viewers because for a long time, they looked like the perfect couple on television. They built businesses together, raised children together, and presented themselves like a power couple. But behind all of that was betrayal, resentment, and years of trust being destroyed. And when the public found out Martell had been involved with Arionne during his marriage, everything exploded. Suddenly, Arionne became one of the most talked about women online. Some people blamed her entirely for the destruction of the marriage. Others blamed Martell for leading multiple women emotionally while refusing to take accountability. But either way, the backlash became overwhelming. Every move Arionne made was criticized. Every live video turned into a war zone. Every interview created more questions than answers. Still, despite all the humiliation and chaos, people noticed something strange. Arionne never fully walked away from Martell. No matter how many emotional conversations happened, no matter how many times she sounded hurt, no matter how frustrated she became, somehow the cycle always continued. And fans started becoming confused. Because if Martell was allegedly manipulating her, embarrassing her publicly, and refusing to fully commit, why keep staying emotionally attached? That question followed Arionne for years. But what made things worse was the constant feeling that there were more secrets behind the scenes than viewers even knew about. Because every time somebody went live, did an interview, or leaked audio, new details appeared that completely changed the story again. And then Destiny's name started entering the conversation more heavily. At first, many people thought Destiny and Martell were simply friends or close associates within the reality TV circle. But rumors started building online that there may have been emotional boundaries crossed somewhere along the way. Nobody had proof. Nobody knew exactly what was happening. But social media detectives started noticing certain interactions, certain body language, and certain timing that made people suspicious. Most fans brushed it off as gossip, until Arionne allegedly began speaking on it herself. And that's where this entire situation became much darker. Because according to the leaked conversations and online discussions, Arionne reportedly questioned whether Martell was being honest about Destiny. And that one accusation changed everything. Suddenly, fans weren't just talking about old cheating scandals anymore. Now they were wondering whether Martell had been juggling emotional connections with multiple women, all at once, while pretending everything was under control. What nobody expected was how emotional Arionne sounded while discussing it. You could hear frustration in her voice, exhaustion, anger, almost like somebody who finally realized they may have been manipulated far longer than they originally believed. And honestly, that's why the audio spread so fast online. People weren't just listening for gossip anymore. They were listening because the emotion sounded real. According to Arionne, there were moments where Martell allegedly called her crying, venting emotionally, and pulling her back into his chaos repeatedly. And if that's true, it paints a very different picture than the confident image he often tries to present publicly. Because emotionally unavailable men usually don't keep running back unless they still want access to someone's attention. But here's where the situation became even messier. Arionne allegedly started implying that Destiny may not have known the full truth herself. And that opened another giant conversation online. Because now fans were wondering whether Destiny was also being emotionally manipulated, the same way Arionne claimed she had been. And honestly, if true, that would explain why everything surrounding Martell always feels so complicated.
Because one thing people consistently accuse him of is wanting control over the narrative. He always seems to want everyone emotionally connected to him without fully choosing anybody completely. And when someone tries pulling away, suddenly there are tears, emotional phone calls, apologies, or promises. It's a cycle many viewers believe they've watched for years. But then came another shocking turn. Instead of only discussing Martell, Arionne allegedly started mentioning Marsau too. Now, this is where the internet completely lost it. Because for years, rumors and speculation have surrounded Marsau and his marriage to Letitia Scott. Fans have constantly debated whether there were hidden secrets in that relationship too. But despite endless gossip online, nothing major had ever fully blown open publicly. Until Arionne reportedly hinted she knew more. And according to the conversations circulating online, she allegedly warned that certain people should stop playing with her name because she had information. Real information. Names, situations, receipts. Now, whether all of that is true remains unclear, but the internet immediately started connecting dots. Because people noticed that whenever drama erupts in this circle, everyone suddenly becomes nervous at the same time. Nobody ever fully denies everything directly. Instead, there are vague posts, indirect comments, cryptic captions, and emotional reactions. And fans interpret that silence as confirmation. What made Arionne's comments feel more intense this time was the energy behind them. She no longer sounded like somebody begging to be chosen. She sounded angry. And angry people sometimes stop protecting secrets. That's why fans started paying attention differently. At one point, Arionne allegedly suggested that some men within this circle cover for each other behind the scenes. And honestly, that statement alone caused social media to explode. Because viewers have suspected for years that many of these friendships involve loyalty agreements, where everybody protects everybody's business publicly. If one person gets exposed, everybody could potentially get exposed. And suddenly, people started wondering whether Arionne was preparing to reveal more than anyone expected. But here's the sad part in all of this. Underneath the gossip, the accusations, and the drama, there's also a woman who sounds emotionally exhausted. Because regardless of how viewers feel about Arionne, One thing became obvious during these conversations. She spent years emotionally attached to a situation that kept hurting her repeatedly. And that kind of emotional cycle changes people. You start becoming defensive, bitter, reactive. Sometimes you even start exposing things publicly because privately you feel ignored, manipulated, or discarded. And many fans believe that's exactly what happened here. Especially because Arionne allegedly admitted that for a long time, she truly believed she and Martell would eventually end up together officially. And honestly, that revelation explains so much. Because when somebody believes they are sacrificing emotionally for a future relationship, they tolerate things they normally wouldn't tolerate. They defend behavior that hurts them. They keep returning after betrayal because they believe the ending will eventually justify the pain. But sometimes, the ending never comes. Sometimes people stay stuck in emotional confusion while the other person keeps benefiting from the attention, loyalty, and access without fully committing. And many viewers believe that's exactly the cycle Arionne finally woke up from.
Still, the damage was already done publicly. Her reputation became tied permanently to scandal. Every time her name trends, it's connected to drama, betrayal, leaked audio, or relationship chaos. And unfortunately, reality TV audiences rarely let women escape those labels easily. Meanwhile, Martell continues facing criticism from viewers who believe he thrives in confusion. Critics say he constantly positions himself at the center of emotional chaos, while avoiding accountability for the destruction left behind. And honestly, every new allegation only strengthens that perception online. As for Destiny, fans remain divided. Some believe she may have been dragged into unnecessary drama unfairly. Others think there may actually be more truth to the rumors than people originally realized. But until clearer evidence surfaces, most of the conversation remains speculation, mixed with emotional accusations. And then there's Marsau. The moment Arionne mentioned warnings connected to him, social media practically exploded. Because viewers know how protective certain couples are about their public image. Any suggestion of hidden secrets immediately becomes headline material in this community. Now fans are waiting nervously to see whether more recordings, screenshots, or allegations eventually surface. Because in today's reality TV culture, secrets rarely stay hidden forever.
What nobody expected, though, was how emotionally heavy this entire situation would become. Because beneath the entertainment aspect is something much sadder. Broken trust, damaged relationships, children eventually growing up and seeing everything online, and people emotionally tearing each other apart publicly for years. That's the part viewers sometimes forget. These aren't fictional characters. These are real families dealing with humiliation in front of millions of people. And according to Arionne, that emotional damage runs deep. You can hear it whenever she speaks about feeling dismissed, unsupported, or emotionally used. You can hear resentment every time she references being pulled back into drama repeatedly. And honestly, regardless of who viewers support, nobody walks away from situations like this emotionally untouched. Especially not after years. Imagine spending years attached to somebody emotionally while constantly questioning where you truly stand in their life. Imagine defending someone publicly while privately feeling confused, insecure, or hidden. Eventually, frustration turns into anger, and anger eventually becomes exposure. That's why these leaks and accusations feel different now.
This no longer sounds like somebody trying to protect a relationship. It sounds like somebody reaching a breaking point. And honestly, those are usually the moments when the biggest secrets come out. But here's the twist nobody can stop talking about. Even after all the alleged manipulation, heartbreak, and embarrassment, fans still wonder whether this cycle is truly over. Because history has shown that emotional attachments like this don't disappear overnight. That's why viewers remain skeptical.
People have watched this same drama restart again and again. One moment there's anger, then silence, then another emotional conversation, then another reconciliation rumor, then another fallout. It's exhausting even for viewers at this point. But if Arionne is truly done protecting everybody involved, this situation could become even messier than before. Because once someone starts hinting they have receipts, names, and private information, everyone connected suddenly has something to lose. And honestly, that may explain why the tension online feels so intense right now. Nobody knows what could surface next. Will more leaked audio appear?
Will Destiny respond directly? Will Marsau address the warnings? Or will everybody continue speaking indirectly while social media pieces together clues? At this point, anything feels possible. One thing is certain, though. The image many people worked hard to maintain is beginning to crack publicly. And once audiences start questioning authenticity, reality TV relationships become much harder to control. Because viewers are no longer just watching the show anymore. They're analyzing every interview, every Instagram caption, every facial expression, and every friendship dynamic for hidden meaning. And honestly, that pressure destroys people emotionally over time. Now Arionne stands at the center of another storm, once again exposing painful details, while the internet debates whether she's telling the truth, seeking revenge, or simply unraveling emotionally after years of chaos. Maybe it's a little bit of all three. But regardless, one thing is clear. This story is far from over. Because when people start speaking from hurt instead of strategy, the situation usually becomes unpredictable. And unpredictable drama is exactly what keeps this entire reality TV world spinning nonstop. So now viewers are left with the biggest question of all. If Arionne truly knows more secrets about Martell, Destiny, and Marsau, how much longer before everything finally comes to light?